Right, we had a request on YouTube after making a half crown ring. Someone had seen some pictures of rings on YouTube, but there was no description on how they were made. So we put our heads together and thought, I wonder how this is done. And it's basically folding the ring so that the one side of the coin is on the outside of the ring and the other side of the coin is on the inside of the ring. I think we've worked out how to do it. I'm going to make one out of a sixpence, and it's a 1966 World Cup winning year sixpence. It will be a very small ring because sixpences are only tiny. But if you've got a girlfriend with small fingers, fair enough, but if you haven't, make a nice toe ring, I suppose. First thing we've got to do, and I found with this, making this particular ring this particular way, is to polish it first. And of course you use the old trusty brasso, and basically all I've done is just pour a few drops of brasso on, use an old toothbrush and polish it, and just keep rubbing it and rubbing it. The toothbrush is very good at it because it gets into all the cracks and crevices, and it does polish them up quite well. And it's worth giving them a rub over afterwards as well, but just for the sake of the video, let's just quickly rub this over and show you what it looks like. Just from a quick couple of minutes of polishing it, and nothing drastic, but it's just a lot easier to do now than it is when it's actually in a ring. There you go. It's quite shiny, it's not ridiculously shiny, but depends on how much time you want to spend on it. Right, so the tools we're going to use are basically just a soft-faced hammer, but this I had to make. I don't know where you could get one from without, if you know somebody that's got a lathe like I have, where I've just machined this taper. I've never seen them for sale anywhere. I've seen ones that measure rings, but they're not a hard piece of steel, so I don't think you could use them for what we're going to use it for. But that's the taper that we're going to use. The next operation I'll show you, it's going to be done on the lathe. So we'll stop it now and show you the bit of machining we've got to do. Okay, the next operation. Got a small Colchester lathe. It should do. It does just what we want, really. Not a complicated bit of machining. Basically, just hold the coin in the chuck. You can see it in there. It doesn't actually have to run that true. And the first thing we've got to do is centre drill it. Centre drill hole in the centre of it. There we go. You could do this by hand, I suppose, but you struggle I think to get it centrally in the ring, so much easier to do it if you've got a lathe. Let's take that onto the chuck. Let's see, we've got a 10mm hole drill. There's quite a big burr on it, but we can soon take that burr off. And basically we'll be ready for the next operation. Okay, so we've drilled a hole in the sixpence. We'll just use a deburring tool to get rid of the burr that was made when we drilled the hole. So now that's nice and smooth. Obviously these rings are so much easier to make than the other rings, the half crown ring. But it's just a different method. Now the taper that I made on the lathe, as you can see the ring just about fits over it with that 10mm hole. Now you get the trusty hammer out again. It all involves hammering. I was thinking of making some sort of a sleeve that went over there, that I could just knock this down the taper. But the number of them that I make, it's not worth my time to do it. So basically, put it in the vise. I'll put a piece of just scrap aluminium in there to protect this from the edge of the vise. And basically, you start tapping it. That's another point. You've also got to decide which side you want the coin. Do you want the date on the outside or on the inside? I think I've changed my mind. I'm going to put it on with the date on the outside. And basically, you just keep tapping it. Just tapping it and turning it. Because I'm trying to force this ring down the taper. And you will see on some of the other sites that show a ring where the lettering is on the outside and on the inside of the ring, that there's a bit of a score mark, and the score mark is on the inside there, and that comes from where it's been knocked down a taper, or I'm assuming that's the way they do it. This is just a method that we've decided to use to make them, and it does work. Okay, I've been tapping it for, I don't know, 5 minutes, tapping it down the taper, and you just keep on tapping it and tapping it. One thing you've got to watch out for though is that you do tap it as evenly as possible, because if you look around there you can see that it's not round, so the areas that are sticking up slightly, you need to tap that a little bit more, you know, so that you can get it as evenly as possible down the taper. And then a little trick that we found when we were first made one of these, this is not the first one, but obviously we've got to experiment, was once you get to this sort of point, you're going to have the inside of that ring is the same taper as this basically. I found it difficult to work at the bottom of this taper, so I machined another one which was slightly bigger. But what I do then is to, instead of putting the ring over it that way and tap it more, is I put the ring over it that way and then start tapping it down. So basically what you're doing is to fold that bottom edge of the coin back outwards and this top edge in, and again just keep tapping it and tapping it and tapping it as evenly as you can with your plastic face mallet so that you don't damage it. And keep tapping it. And it does take a while with a plastic face mallet, because you're not hitting the coin that hard. But trust me, you keep tapping it and it will get there. And in the next bit of video, hopefully we will have tapped it as far down the taper as we need it to go. But as you can see from there, it says Sixpence 1966. But we'll show you in a moment what it looks like when we've tapped it, probably down to about there. Okay, there you go. We've been tapping this down this taper for a while now, and you can see around the edge there that it's near enough touching the back edge of the taper. These rings, I don't know if you've noticed on the pictures of other ones, you'll always see that there's a slight taper on them, and that's because this edge of the coin is far thicker than the inner part of the coin, which is what causes that. You can read around there Sixpence 1966, and basically I'll take it off the taper. I mean, you can polish these or be as gentle as you like with the tapping to make them better, to try and keep them as even as possible when you're tapping them. But basically, apart from, you know, perhaps cleaning the edges up a little bit better with wet and dry paper and brasso again, that's basically how we think it's done. Let's just polish this up a little bit. Hopefully it'll make someone a nice little present someday.
Completely one off.
I mean, if it was me, I'd have it silver plated. A local jeweller can do that for you. I can't do that.
It will be this particular coin as well. It'll be sold on eBay as well, won't it?
There you go. A lucky sixpence. 1966. You've got lettering around the outside. I don't know how well you can see that in this light, but you can see the other lettering around the inside. Obviously it doesn't fit me. Might fit my toe. And that's how we think these rings are made.